It's only been a couple days since I posted that Metallica Stole My Riff video, which was really just a clickbait bullshit video to tell everybody that I was going to start doing studio build videos, and it's time for that first video with, of course, the world's shittiest, smallest studio tour video ever, featuring my dogs and my neighbor who's smoking right now. Alright, so let's get started with this studio tour. So first of all, as you can probably tell, it's a very small little bedroom that I basically just have all, or at least most of my music equipment in. First of all, it's a safe space. I'm using this shoe rack that we're not using anymore to store XLR cables and just other random wires and cables that we might need, so that's pretty handy. And over here obviously is the desk. You know, for the most part it's pretty standard. I've got a rack. It's got a bunch of old 90s MIDI equipment that a family friend gave to me. It was their son's and he died and he was a musician. He was like making techno music in the 90s, so they're like, well, if anybody's gonna know what this shit is, it's gonna be you. Hello. Hi. This is my neighbor Carl. I happened to move next door to a metalhead, so that worked out perfectly. So we jam in here all the time now. So yeah, basically I've got that rack down there with a bunch of 90s MIDI equipment, like a drum machine and stuff. And then the next shelf up, you probably can't even really see, but it's just got some stomp pedals and stuff. This was actually more organized until like about a week or so ago. I kind of pulled a bunch of things out. But then I've got some vocal mics and some shitty backup mics. Right here, I bought this drum mic set off of Craigslist for $100. I have no idea if it works yet because I didn't have an interface until recently. So that's another video I'm going to be making, is when I actually install that interface and set it all up. Yeah, so basically I got these two mics off of Craigslist for $35 a pop. This guy had like 7 or 8 of them. That was actually, I'll probably make a video just about the story about these mics. They look like SM57s, and people, like every review I read said that they sound just as good, if not better. So I went and bought 2 of them. And obviously I've got just a bunch of shit, like pencils, a bunch of patches I need to put on my jacket, my name. This is where I store all my YouTube videos that I'm done with and videos that I still need to make. Between all of those, there's probably, how much, like 11 terabytes of storage that's probably used about 75% of it already. Then I got some shitty Logitech speakers I got off Craigslist for like $30 because my old ones were not working for some reason. And after that, I've got this monitor / TV screen that I got for my dorm when I was a freshman in college because I didn't have a TV. And then my MacBook that I used to make all my videos and stuff on. And then we've got this giant monstrosity of a shitty drum kit, which is really just a combination of 2 separate drum kits. I'll end up making a video just talking about this drum kit and why it sucks so bad, but why it's fun. And of course I got my Marshall half stack, got Carl's beer, some shitty Line 6 wireless packs that, actually they work pretty well. The only issue is that the battery door broke, so I always have to duct tape it closed. And then I got just a toolbox with some guitar stuff in there, a broken drum head from a time Pompey kicked through it, and then we ended up just turning over one of these floor toms and using that as a bass drum for the rest of our little jam sesh. This is hilarious. And I've got these 2 Harbinger PA speakers that we got so that Fruity Jeff we could actually hear Fruity Jeff over the drumming and the guitaring. And we also plug Idamar's bass into that because he didn't have a bass amp. Then this is my new Tascam interface that I bought a few weeks ago. So this is really the last piece I needed before I could start really setting up the studio. So now that I have this, this is pretty much why I'm actually going to start making these videos, is because now that I have this, I can hook all of this up together. It'll be really nice, and I can start recording things and doing product reviews and things like that, and maybe help some of you guys figure out how to put together a shitty, cheap studio like what I'm doing right here. And then the last little bit is this closet, which is really, I tried to utilize this area as much as I could. Got a bunch of boxes for like electronics and stuff up here. Got my Jesus costume that's usually hanging up, but I wore it to work the other day. By the other day, I mean about a month ago because it was Halloween. Just got some wall stuff. Now there's my degree, my U of A degree that I haven't done anything with, so it's still just in the envelope it came mailed in. My Megadeth record, which is where I got that poster from. Got all my signs from Jedfest, and then another bag of signs from Jedfest. Some of my guitar cases, you probably can't tell, but are back there in the darkness. Yeah, the last little bit is just this little drawer that I have where I have a bunch of power supplies in case I need them for anything. I've got all my wires organized, so I've got like, what is this one? Yeah, my micro USBs and then mini USBs for my GoPro. Other random wires in case I need them. And then, yeah, I basically just have all that. And then these last two drawers are just extra art supplies that I need a place to put, so they ended up in there. Alright, well now that you've seen a pretty quick run through of the entire studio, it's time for us to take it apart because the first upgrade I'm going to be showing you for the studio is getting rid of my old bedspread that I've been using to keep the drums in place, replacing it with this big ass rug I got at Goodwill.
And it's going to be so fun.
This actually is more open than it usually is. If you notice, pops, I actually have the guitars and some extra stands and shit in the bathroom because I spent all last night and all of yesterday until like 6 in the morning today clearing out this entire little loft area. Yesterday I went and got these IKEA pieces on Craigslist for actually only 40 bucks. It was a pretty solid deal. This is kind of a bitch to assemble. I had Ricky and Trey help me with that. The reason I need this is because before all these books and all these art supplies and some of the workout equipment and all the shit that's on this desk, it was all just in a huge pile in the corner of this room since we moved in, really. So it's been like 3 months and it was still like that. So we just had it in all these little boxes down there and just shit everywhere. And for what we're doing today, I'm going to need this entire area nice and clean. So now I'm going to play some clips from yesterday of me going around and trying to find this rug. Right now the studio just has one of my old bedspreads on the floor with some of those, you know, like when you have carpet and you need rolly office chairs to get those like plastic mats. It's got 2 of those and then one of my old bedspreads on the floor right now to keep the drums in place, and really a better solution for that is an old cheap rug. Now I'm gonna go check a couple places for rugs. Usually you can find them for pretty cheap on Craigslist. So I'm gonna check Big Lots because I actually got a pretty decently sized rug there for like 20 bucks the other day. Another good place to check is Goodwill and then probably Ross too. It really just depends on how big of the space we need to cover on the floors. So I'm gonna go upstairs and measure the actual area that I wanna cover and then figure out what is the minimum sized rug or rugs I need to get. Here's just kind of a quick overview of the current situation that we have going on. As you can see, it's clearly not ideal. Just got this queen-sized camouflage comforter on the floor with some of those little plastic mats, like I said. So I just need to figure out how big I actually want to get this. So I'm gonna go grab my handy dandy tape measure and get to work. Fucking tiniest little amp. So the ideal size for a rug that I need to get is 8x6, which isn't the most common size of rugs, but I'm sure I can find one that's at least that big for pretty inexpensive. And like I said, I found one that was 5x7 for like 20 bucks at Big Lots. Usually you'll see them for like 40 to 50 on Craigslist. So let's go see if I can find a cheap ass rug. So I just checked one Goodwill and they had a $20 shag rug, but it was only 5x7. I need 6x8 at least. So I'll head down to the Ross that's down the street from here, and if they don't have anything there, there's another Goodwill and another Ross just a few miles away from here. Alright, I just checked Ross and Big Lots, and Ross didn't have anything, you know, they didn't have any really good deals comparatively to Big Lots, which they still have the 5x6 rugs for 20 bucks. So worst case, if I can't find a good 8x6 or like, you know, 8x10, something like that size rug, I can just buy 2 5x6s at Big Lots for 40 bucks total and have 6x10 and essentially just put them together to have a 6x10 rug for the drum set. Here we have Phoenix Furniture Outlet. next to a Ross, next to a Goodwill. So I'm gonna hit up all three and see if I can find anything better than what I found at the last couple places I went to. Well, Phoenix Furniture Outlet moved to Tempe, strangely enough. Ross barely had anything, but this Goodwill always has good shit, and I got this giant ass rug for only 30 bucks. So there'll be plenty of enough floor space covered for the drum kit. Yeah, it's easily gonna be enough room. Holy shit, this thing's bigger than I even realized. 1, 2, 8. It's roughly 8.5 feet, and at least. Yeah, so this thing's probably 8.5 by 10. Not bad. 30 bucks, Goodwill. Alright, so now our first task is to move this chair out of the way and start taking everything out. So what I'm doing right here is making a little shelf for my GoPro so I can just sit my GoPro right there and hopefully it won't fall.
This is what we do.
See if it works.
Oh my goodness, it's so close. You can do it. I don't think he measured out the inches.
No.
There. Oh,
Secure.
it's solid. It is solid.
Yes.
Yes. And that is how Josh Solomon rolls.
Woo! Carl's gonna walk across the street to feed his dogs. And then we got all the band stuff out here. And this room is nice and clear so I can sweep it and then go and get a dirty ass Goodwill rug. Yeah, sounds like plan. So we got the studio pretty much swept and cleaned up thanks to my trusty broom vacuum and my girlfriend's boner. Right, so now it's time to go down and get the rug from the garage. The real fun part's gonna be trying to get through the kitchen without knocking anything over. Luckily there's a mirror there so I can see where I'm going. Alright, doggies. Actually, it's not too bad. It's gonna be fun trying to lift it up each stair though. Oh, actually, yeah, not too bad so far. Woo! We did it! We did it, pups! Oh, look at you! Look at these pups. Yeah, so this rug is definitely too big for this little room. So we're gonna have to cut it. Now the question is, should we cut it how it is right here? Or should I cut it even smaller so that there's like the wooden walkway there? And then have it go all the way board to board there. And that might actually be the best. Yeah, so even having it this way, it's still got just this tiny little sliver of the floor right there, and it's obviously still too wide that way. I think what I might do is measure this center red area and cut it there, because this actually looks like it'd be a good size. So I'm gonna go get the tape measure and measure out exactly how big this center square area is, and then probably cut that out. So the red area of the rug, the center red area, is actually, it's basically the size that I was actually looking for. Carl's back, and as you can see, I moved a few of the pieces of the drum set back in, and yeah, there's definitely more than enough space on just this red area. So we're gonna go grab a box cutter or a knife or whatever sort of edgelord cutlery I have sitting around this house. Alright, now that we've got the rug cut down to size, I just need to sweep up in here again, move these out of the way, and then set it up in the position that I want. Alright, got it nice and swept up, so now we're going to carry these bass drums back out there, and then put this in position. Alright, so we successfully took our $30 Goodwill rug, cut it, and now we can put all this shit back. So far everything's going pretty smoothly, but the GoPro has died, so we're gonna let it charge and go grab a pizza, and we will be back in a bit. Alright, I think that's pretty much it. And it definitely feels like we're managing all the space a lot better. Like, there's less crowding on my desk. There's an easier way to walk through here.
Maybe a little more room, maybe a few inches or something. I don't know.
Somehow,
Yeah.
there's more walkway space.
A little bit, yeah.
It's easier to get around. I've spent a little more time on my wire management, so they're organized a bit better. I got my extra guitar stand in here. The boom mic stand all set up pretty nicely. I'm still gonna have to tinker with this because Carl mostly set this up, so I'll move it around how I like it. And it's taken all day, but I would say it's definitely worth it. This rug was definitely worth the $30 investment, and work just the elbow grease to set the studio back up. I think that's about it. Sweet. And then I guess that means for the next episode, I will most likely be taking apart the studio a little bit again and putting it back together so I can play with my new interface.
Can't wait.
Because that means we can start playing with recording. And when I start recording, I start playing. And when I start playing, I get better. When I get better, I'm happy. And then when I'm happy, I don't feel like I'm motivated to make myself a better person. And then I get lazy, and then I get lazy, and I get sad, and I get sad. And I get angry, and then it happens all over again because I get pissed and I start playing music again.
It makes your friends happy too.
Alright, I guess I'll see you guys next time when I actually start using the studio as a studio. Hell yeah, Bro 5.
Bro.